Hi, welcome back to the Jack and Glenn channel. I'm Jackie.
And I'm my husband, Glenn.
Yep, he's my husband.
Before we get started, make sure you hit the subscribe button, hit that bell notification. Before we reviewing tonight, Kirk Franklin the One, season number 1, episode number 8, The Sleepover. The Sleepover. This episode was a little bit juicy. Had a lot going on in this episode. Things are starting to pick up a little bit since they're in this mansion and they're in the house. You're starting to see a little bit more drama from the show. You get to see a little bit more tension and how people are catty and I'm gonna say backbiting. I don't want to use the word snitching because it's not definitely snitching, but you see how people are getting more involved and things are going on with Brent and Ashley and their actually what you call them? Suitors and their suitors. So let's get it. Okay. Episode number 8.
So episode 8, we pick up where episode 7 left off after Brent and Brian get into their little
spats.
Yeah, their little spat or whatever. Ashley goes to talk to Brent about the argument the night before, and Brent apologizes to her for his behavior. Before Ashley can even go into it, Brent was like, well, let me say this to you. No, I want to apologize. And come to find out, Ashley didn't just come to talk to him about that, but it was something else, because one of Brent's suitors, one of his lady
friends,
Maika, came to talk to Ashley about situation that happened before. So Lisa and Jazzy and Maika, they had pulled Brent to the side after his altercation with Brian to try to get him to calm down. So they were all in his room, chilling or whatever. And so Jazzy fell asleep, and Lisa and Maika was like, let's wake Jazzy up so she can go to her room. And she said that Brent was like, no, we'll just let her sleep. She'll be fine. So Jazzy ended up spending the night in Brent's room. They said that she had fallen asleep like between his legs or whatever.
It just didn't look right in between his legs. But he said that she was over her own little bed on her own little side, like it was like brother and sister sleeping together.
He said it was nothing happened. It was no spooning, no cuddling, no kissing or whatever. And Ashley was like, okay, I understand that and everything, and nobody was in there with y'all. I'm just letting you know, for me, if I was one of the people trying to date you, it would make me feel a type of way. Like you kind of had picked this person, and like, what am I in this for? And then also, it was some of that don't let your good be evil spoken of. It looks like something it isn't, even if nothing happened, and nobody can testify to that except the two people that was
just
involved.
The 2 people in the room, right?
And and so this next day, as they're talking about this, actually Jazzy's not there. She's at work.
She's at work.
She's a radio personality, so she's not there. But Brent was like, I think everybody should focus on themselves, and if they can't handle this process, then he don't know what to say. And I'm thinking, bruh, the process is not to stay in a room with people,
not to sleep with
folks.
Process, well, I ain't say sleep.
But I mean sleep in the bed with them. The process is to try to figure out who you more comfortable with, who you want to be the one. It's not sleepover.
But I mean, I get it from both ends. Like, we're grown. If she want to stay here, we're grown adults. Y'all left. Y'all leave. You can go. She didn't want to leave. So if I want to stay in this room with her, I thought about Flavor of Love. Like with Flavor, this is where all this really kind of stemmed from. If you think all the reality relationship shows now, you got to go back to the Flavor of Love, which I believe was the originator of all this type stuff that we're seeing now. Flavor Flav was sleeping in a room with each one of these young ladies, and he didn't really have to necessarily sleep with them, but they were all competing for his love. Yeah. And so Brent is here competing for the love of these 6 women, and one happened to stay there. If you really wanted to get your friend up, right, you would have got your friend up. My thing was, you should have been thinking about her safety. Like, what if he's a predator? What if she's intoxicated, obviously, right? So how come you didn't try to really move her and get her up out of here if you was cared about her? I'm just saying.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what I'm thinking. Like, you really care about her well-being, her safety, and you need her to go to her room. You and her, the other girl, should have really walked her down the hallway, moved her up, got her to the place where she needed to be, But again, if you Brent, I don't want to be in a room, sleep with somebody who's drunk anyway, because that could have went south for him. Because she could have said XYZ would have happened or could have happened, and only people that would know would be him and her. Mm-hmm. So he put himself in a situation. He dodged the ball. He dodged the bullet here. I'm just looking for that situation. From that end, Yeah, don't let your good be evil spoken of, and don't put yourself in a situation where you can end up in harm's way later.
Yeah. So we see Tammy have a chat with Ashley about the incident with Brian and Brent. Um, Ashley explains what happened. She said what she could appreciate about the situation is that even though they got into a little altercation, that Brian didn't raise his voice. He didn't go over there to Brent. His question to her was, "Did you feel unsafe?" And she was like, "No,
Nope.
I felt safe." It kind of turned her on how calm he was about the whole situation, but she was good with it. Kirk goes to talk to Brent about the situation with Brian, but also with the Jazzy staying in her room. And Kirk was like, basically, I feel like the pressure's creeping up on you. I'm honestly disappointed in your choices last night when it came to Brian and also when it came to Jazzy. And it's like you're gonna have to rewrite the narrative with the other woman, because they can look at this in a way like, where they're not really feeling it. And to me, when Kirk was talking to Brent about it, he kind of like brushed it off. Like, I mean, if they got a problem, that's their problem.
Well, that's the way he was carrying it.
Yeah.
Because he realized, you know how it is when people think I didn't do anything wrong.
Uh-huh.
Like, what did I wrong? Why everybody coming at me? I didn't do anything wrong. You hear the advice, right? But you don't really accept it.
Mm-hmm.
You hear it. Okay, thanks, brother Kurt. But Kurt had some good points there. Like, bro, you do have these other 5 women. And what if Jazzy's not the one? Then you rub the other 5 the wrong way.
Yeah.
And you're going to have to start from square one with these girls. So, ladies, sorry.
Yeah, Tammy talks to Ashley about the thing with Matthew and their conversation and, him tearing up and how that was attracted to her. And she said, I kind of have a conflict because I'm like upset with Brent because he let Jazzy sleep in a room with him. But I kind of feel it's the same thing with me because I did kiss Matthew. And I have these other guys I have to consider. And I'm like,
the adults. I'm just happy they're thinking this way because other reality shows and other dating shows, they have no care whatsoever.
But for her, she did it out in the open. This is a little bit different, somebody could have walked up on him, it would have been what it is.
And plus it was a moment too. They were
they was having a moment. And to me, I really can't compare that to you got somebody in your room all night, door closed.
But it wasn't doing anything. It was in a room. I mean, I understand.
Yeah. So she said the thing with Brent made her uncomfortable, but she had to consider how it made her kiss with Matthew may make the other guys feel.
Yeah.
So Kirk and Tammy go to talk to the guys and the girls. The ladies are concerned about someone spending the night in there with Brent. They just want to make sure that he's there for the right reasons. Are you here to get some, or are you actually trying to find the one? I wonder, because it's just a little fast. The first night and somebody already staying with you. Like, where are we gonna go from here?
All right, but ain't nobody sleep with him. I mean, of course, I would keep doing that. Yeah, somebody stayed with him, but there was 3 girls in there. So he had 3 girls in his room. This is that guy who talked about a threesome in the last episode. Had 3 girls in his room already, and all y'all in his bed. And then some of you just had enough sense to get up or wake up and leave.
Uh-huh.
So,
Maika said she was disappointed. She said they was very in her little vignette. She was like they was real touchy feely and flirty. I think they had sex.
See, that's how rumors get started.
But she said in her vignette, she didn't say that to everybody else. But Kirk was like, he encouraged the ladies, don't give up on him now. It was just, that one time thing, whatever. Tammy said, when it comes to the guys that are dating Ashley, she's a lot of them have really big personalities, and like some of them are kind of shrinking back, and so they really gonna need to come up to the step up their game. Step the game up. She said when it comes to Dante and also Steve,
yeah,
and specifically with the big personality, she thought about Shuvar. Mm-hmm. She thought about Addie. And
the guys who command the room when they come in there, who talk and who discuss things, who not shy about sharing their opinions and feelings. So
the next thing we see with them, they go play touch football, and they're uneven because again, Jazzy had to go to work, so they're not able to split the teams evenly. And so Dante volunteers to be the all-time quarterback.
And a lot of girls didn't know which way to go through playing football. They just want to go out there and have fun. But Ashley has a problem with Dante because she walked past him and she's on his team and he ignored her.
Well, because she said, we looking for him for some direction about plays and where to go and how to move. And so she mentioned that to him and like he kind of just ignored her.
I think he got caught up in a moment being
Yeah.
a quarterback. Got caught up in a moment being a quarterback. But again, you're the quarterback. You are the leader. You take charge. This was an opportunity for Dante to step up and say, you know what? I am a leader. I do take charge. All right, ladies, I want y'all to run this route here, run a post, run a corner, go ahead, run a hitch and a dig, and just do whatever. Or go to the tree, go. You know how you do these backyard football. Go 5 steps to 5 steps straight and 5.
No, I don't know.
You didn't play backyard football with your cousins?
Not with all that. Take these 5 steps and no, we was just running.
Oh no, man! We had like in your hand.
Trying to get the ball.
Go ahead, go to the left, right here, make a T, and I'm hit you right there. Well,
no, but I would have did better than them because I know I'm gonna get somewhere and get the ball or block somebody.
Okay,
that's what I'm finna do.
Oh, you can catch. Go ahead, girl.
No, I ain't saying that. But anyway, so after the game, we see Richie in there rubbing and not that kind of way, but massaging Brent's leg because Brent's 43. He younger than me, but you wouldn't think so. But
so he had a little cramp.
Yeah, so she tried to, work the cramp out of his muscle, and
tension.
as she's working on that, then I think it's either Mika comes in and sits on his lap, and she's like, "Now how I'm gonna work the kink out, and you putting your weight on his leg? This ain't gonna help no."
Ain't gonna help no. But Brent embraced both women rubbing him and touching him and feeling. He enjoyed it.
Of course he did.
Yeah, he enjoyed it.
Later we see Ashley have a one-on-one with Addie, and he said, he wanted his one-on-one time with her. He was not being pushy. Just when the time would be right, he knew he would have some time with her. And so they just have a really good conversation about him talking about his father and how his father passed in 2021 and the example that he had for him. And then Ashley shared about how her relationship with her parents has grown.
Right.
We know her dad had a problem with alcohol, and mom was really holding up the household when she was younger, but they got it together. And she said she really enjoyed having a conversation with Addie, but the one thing about it is the producer's like, is there physical attraction there? And she was like, I don't know if I'm physically attracted to him.
She wasn't selling the show. The conversation is good, but that kind of like what Tammy talked about Kirk. She like, sometimes you have the attraction, the physical attraction may not be there, because she said, but when I first met Kurt, his teeth were like this, right? His teeth were like that, but we had a deeper level of connection, and it wasn't just physical. It was more. It was the communication was there, the relationship was there. It wasn't always physical.
Listen, I forgot about that. Kirk was like, "Why you do me like that?
Why you do me like that?" She talked about my man's teeth. Said it was
like
his
that?
teeth were like.
But he said it before too. I know a song he did. Got my grill fixed now. Smile when I speak. Tell him who it is. It's that Jesus freak. So he talked about how his teeth used to be snaggling and everything.
A lot of artists who get money get their teeth fixed.
But just as a side note,
they know their teeth. They gotta be smiling on people's face.
Right,
except for Michael Strahan.
Just as a side note, speaking of famous people, like some people, like Cardi B said, so she got a bag and fixed her teeth. That's the first thing she did. She got her teeth fixed. But then I look at people like Too Short was in the game for a long time before he got his teeth fixed. Jermaine Dupri just got a mouthful of veneers.
Roman Reigns got his fixed.
But he didn't wait as long as Jermaine Dupri had been in the game for a long time. I feel like either that wasn't you had to have had enough money to get them fixed.
It wasn't a priority at that time though. Girls were still calling.
Cardi said, got a bag and fixed my teeth. She said, first things first. Give me his teeth fixed.
Priorities, baby. Priorities.
But anyway, I think with guys, it's a little bit different. Like guys can get away. Like we made a comment about Shuvar's cool dude. He in there with his wife beater on. But he a big dude. He a big guy. And so the guys can be like that. It's such a double standard. A man is going to get a man in a particular position. He's going to get women regardless of how he looks, which is crazy. But women got to be freaking tent. No, it is true.
There are women out there for everybody. Some like plus size women. Some like the itty bitty skinny women. Some like the women who have the fake hair, the fake nails, the fake eyelashes.
But even if they plus size, it's you're going to see more men that's with women, and you be like, how did he get her? as opposed to men that's like, whoo, and then women like, you're gonna see it more the other way. But that was a side note. This is a sidebar. Just
little tangent, but we're coming back.
Had to say that. So anyway, so Brent actually has a sit-down conversation with Brian, and they apologize to each other about their behavior. You know, Brian explained, I wasn't calling you goofy. I was saying the situation. If it's somebody, that's a goofy way to handle it.
And, I like the fact that Brent did go to him. That man up, they didn't let it linger. I think he was saying, you know, I don't know how much longer you have in this house. I don't know how much. I wanted to make sure we get it right. I want to make sure we have this squashed, and I apologize, and which I thought was good.
Which, in contrast, we'll talk about in a little bit. He goes to talk to Brent about that issue, but the other situation, he doesn't ever go talk to that person.
Yeah, he go talk to Brian, but he never goes to the girl.
So when Jazzy gets back, we see Mika go talk to her and was like, oh, you know, after you left, it was a whole lot of talk about the fact that you slept in Brent's room. It was a topic of conversation, and Maika had a problem with it, whatever. Let me go get her so we can talk about it. And, you know, Maika comes in. It's like, you know, it really didn't look nice to try to wake you up. He was like, no, don't wake her up, but she could just stay here. And, you know, she was like, it just didn't look nice. It made me feel the type of way. And Jazzy was like, you know, I'm grown, Brent's grown, you know, we adults, we gonna ain't not saying nothing happened, but basically, what business is it of yours? You know, like mind your business.
Like, you're not my keeper, but I understand why she said it was a keeper, not necessarily about the show. It was about the show, but it's also like your safety, though. And I'm not saying Brent's gonna do anything, but y'all both intoxicated. What if something that you didn't want to do? So I'm just saying so.
So then we get to the point where it's time for someone to be sent home. Kirk sits down with Ashley and Brent, and they did a little bit different. Instead of just eliminating person, they go one by one and pick who they're gonna pick. And first off, Ashley picked Shuvar. Shuvar, you good? Make me.
It kind of feel good to be the number one pick to stay. Shuvar is like, yo, and he like you said, he's not the typical dude. He ain't the 6 foot, 235 pound chiseled brother, right?
Which is a side note.
He's the teddy bear type dude who has great communication skills.
That's something we talked about too. As you scanned the choices like that, Ashley picked like the guys she picked are like
all over the spectrum.
Dark skin, light skin, big, small, muscular, you know, all of that. As I kind of scanned Brent's, really for real,
they're a little different.
Just a little bit, but it's almost like a common thing. You know what I'm saying? I could see how he would like all of them because they're very similar.
They're similar but different.
Yeah, but we see Ashley picks Shuvar, then she picks Brian, then she picks Addie, and then she picks Matthew and Steve. And so the person she eliminates is Dante.
We knew that.
He just really didn't.
He didn't fit in. Dante the lawyer didn't fit in. It wasn't for Ashley. We knew that. And she said Steve really. The reason she kept Steve was because when Brent and Brian was going at it, Steve went to Brian and calmed him down a little bit, had some good words for him. He went to Brent, had some good words for him, and he showed that he had compassion and he was involved. Her and Dante just never clicked.
So now it's Brent's time to pick, and he goes, you know, picking, and he picks Mika first, and then he picks Lisa, and then he picks Richie, and then he picks Ashley, and it comes down to Jazzy and Maika, and I was like, you know what time it is.
You know what time it is, right? Then I agree. Well, I'll let you do it because I got a whole.
No, go ahead.
I agree with Kirk, man. This is so passive aggressive. This is so really almost like like Me Too movement type deal. It's like if you start telling on me and you start spilling the beans, I'm gonna let you go, right? He never addressed the issue where, so you rubbed me the wrong way. I'm gonna let you go. You said something about me. I don't like it. It may not be true, but I'm gonna go ahead and get rid of you.
Yeah. It was a whole thing going on. So I'm going to basically eliminate the problem. The person who started the mess. And so I'm going to let Maika go. And Kirk was like, I'm glad
Kirk called him out, though.
I didn't like the way you did it. I don't like the way you let Maika go. He was like, Brent was like, she never came to me and talked to me about it. Kirk was like, bruh, it was you in a situation.
Yeah.
You should have gone to talk to her.
Man up.
And try to smooth it out. You know, he was like, you know, it's a forest fire. You got the match. And Brent was like, well, if I got the match, but she put the lighter fluid on it. And Kirk was like, bro, it was just
You
the way
started the
you,
fire.
yeah, the way you did it, it was like more kind of cutthroat. Maika in her vignette when she's leaving, she was like, he let me go. I feel like that was a cop out the way he did it. We never got a chance to discuss what actually happened. We didn't talk about it. He just let me go. And the part that I didn't like about it is after the elimination, and he goes in the kitchen and he's talking to the women all about it, but he never talked to Maika. He just cut her loose. And I was like, that's just
It's a punk move. I'm gonna call it what it is. It's a punk move.
Yeah.
It's a punk move. He should have went to her and him should have had a conversation, talked about it, squashed it, did whatever they needed to do, be mad at her or whatnot, but he never talked to her about that, and you just eliminated. She said the same thing when she got eliminated. Like, he never talked to me. Be a man and go have the conversation. Be a man and go talk about it.
Which is why I said it's funny that he would sit down and talk to Brian about what happened with them, but then he didn't take the time to talk to Maika.
Yeah, he didn't. And then we go into Brian did some punk stuff too. So I'm gonna get with Brian's punk stuff in a minute. You ain't see it, but I saw it. Brian did some punk moves at the end. We'll get to the end. Get to the next part.
Oh.
With the part where.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, go ahead. There we go.
Yeah, when all of them sit down and they have a conversation about the situation with what happened with Maika, and Jazzy's like basically like mind your business or whatever, and then Brian does kind of raise his voice.
He sparked up at the woman, right? He sparked up at a woman. He went off on the woman. He didn't go off on Brent like that a little bit when they was together, but he went off on the woman, which made Ashley like, hold on for a minute, bro. Mm-hmm. How is it that you kind of calm, cool, and collective when you talking to another grown man, and then you talking to this woman, you raise it up and more aggressive dealing with the woman? You wasn't that aggressive when you were talking to Brent. Red flag.
And so
red flag.
As a result, Ashley was like, I went to go talk to somebody about it, with somebody I felt comfortable with, and she went to talk to Matthew. But then she found herself in the predicament that she had an issue with Brent with. It's her and him in her room, two adults in a dark room. It don't look right. I shouldn't have put myself in that predicament. And so that's where we ended. So we'll see where it goes from there on the next episode.
We'll see what she probably kissed him. He probably stayed the night. But wouldn't nobody know but her and him, because ain't nobody gonna snitch.
That's the other thing I wanted to say too. In the process of what she's doing the elimination, she actually told the other guys that she shared a kiss with Matthew. You could have kept that to yourself. Nobody knew.
Nobody knew. Nobody needed to say anything. And Maika was the one who got the Brent situation rolling. Again, I understand why he said it. I understand why he got rid of her, but the way he did it, I just don't agree with. Don't agree with. All right, you guys, let us know what you think. Hit the subscribe button. Hit the bell notification. If you watched all 24 minutes of this video, why not hit the subscribe button? Hit the bell notification. Let us know what your thoughts was about the Brent and Maika situation. Let us know about the Brian and Brent situation and the Brian and Jazzy situation. Leave a comment in the comment section below. We appreciate you guys. Thanks for rocking with us. And we'll catch you next week as we review episode number 9 of The One. Talk to you later.
Bye.
Peace.